What do you do if somebody else is already offering the product and service that your social enterprise hopes to provide? Or what if there's a new competitor that enters in your market? Hi, I'm Matthew Rempel, lead social enterprise coach, and this is Strategy Made Simple. The first thing we need to consider is the market overlap. If you think about your competitors' customers, it's likely that they're not appealing to everyone out there who might want what you can provide. So there are probably some people within your sphere of influence that aren't yet customers of that product or service. There are also likely many people who are currently buying from your competitors, but they're not so loyal to the brand that they wouldn't consider alternatives if they were to appear. And the market is often bigger than anticipated. You can do some research and figure out the rough percentage of people in a certain area that might be willing to purchase that product or service. There's some broader market research things that you can do with that, but you can also do some quick napkin sketch math. A percentage of people that you think might be interested in the product or service, and apply that to the population of the area that you could appeal to. If you're operating in a physical storefront, consider the local region. If you're doing any kind of online sales, consider first the areas where you're doing marketing. For example, let's assume about 5% of people are interested in direct trade coffee. Applying that math to my hometown of about 800,000 people, that leaves 40,000 people that are interested and willing to buy direct trade coffee. If we assume that of that 40,000, we could get about 5% of their business. So that's 2,000 people, and let's assume that on average people drink this coffee once a week. We can do a rough estimate that we can earn 2,000 customers a week in that, even though there are other people in the market. In this example, we are only earning from about 0.25% of the population. It's a very small slice of a broader population, but when it's expanded out, it's actually quite a lot. Once you've done this napkin sketch math, you should always go back and check your numbers, try to fill them in with real numbers instead of rough estimates. And once you've found these real numbers, you can always apply them to a break-even analysis to see if it's going to be enough to support a business. We've got another video on how to do a break-even analysis, and the link to that is in the description. Another thing to consider is the perspective from which your brand is coming from. Every person, institution, and business is going to come with its own perspective. These are combined from the history, the values, and what the organization is focusing on. In business, when this all comes together, we call this the brand of the organization. People will have preferences for certain brands and certain perspectives, and so they are more likely to purchase from those brands when they're available. People will tend to pick brands that most align with their values out of the set that they know of. If they don't know about a brand, it doesn't factor into that choice. And there are likely people who are interested in the product or service that you provide that don't know that you exist. For those people, they would love to buy from a social enterprise that aligns with their values. But if you're not marketing well enough that they're not aware of you, they're not able to make that choice. In this situation, both you and they are worse off for not being able to make that choice. So the perspective and the brand that you have can differentiate you from the other players that are already in the market. Typically, as other businesses enter the market, things generally become more efficient. This is because of the pressure businesses put on each other to do the work better. Markets tend to be really good at creating that process efficiency because of that competitive market. You might have different processes and different strengths than the other businesses that are already in the market. And when we're talking about social enterprise, that process efficiency counts for both the business product or service that you're selling and the social value that you're creating. So when you're entering this new market, there are going to be some strengths, some efficiencies that you have that others don't. And if you're looking at other social enterprises in the space, this might create opportunities for partnerships, collaboration, or mergers in the future so that you can combine the strengths that you have and make things even more efficient, earning more revenue, earning more profit to create more impact. And finally, there's a natural redundancy that happens in markets. Markets aren't perfect at creating the ideal distribution of products and services. And so there's always a little bit of tension and a little bit of redundancy. This is how we can end up with too many coffee shops in a certain area and not enough grocery stores in others. When we're talking about social enterprise, we're always hoping that there are others also doing the work and pushing solutions forwards. We know we can't do it on our own, and we know that our efforts alone aren't enough to satisfy the needs. And it's very similar when we're appealing to customers with our products and services. Often any one individual organization is not enough to satisfy the needs or the wants of the customers. And just like adding in more businesses satisfies more customers, the more social enterprises we have, the more organizations pushing for solutions to social problems, the more market pressure will exist to improve our efforts towards solving those problems. There are going to be for-profit businesses anyways in nearly any market, so there might as well be social enterprises providing the same products and services, but diverting some of their energy towards solving the social problems, as long as it's not an industry that directly causes harm. Another important part of this redundancy is that it's a marker that there are people who are willing to pay for the product and service on offer. By seeing other businesses that are working, that have continued to exist, it shows that there is a market for the product and service. And it's just a matter of finding the right elements to put together so that you can appeal to the customers of that market. So on the whole, between the overlap and redundancies in the market, the different processes and efficiencies that you can have, and the perspective that comes from your social enterprise, as long as there is space for one more business in a market, it's better to have more social enterprises that are creating value for all of society than profit-seeking businesses that are trying to pull the value out. Thank you for watching. If you've appreciated this video, please share it with somebody else. This video is created by Strategy Made Simple. Strategy Made Simple exists to help social enterprises and social entrepreneurs grow their impact by helping them create value, grow responsibly, and market confidently. We offer one-on-one or small group coaching to help you or your team develop the skills that you need to operate a social enterprise. We offer workshops so you can learn specific skills or to get some direction for the enterprise. And we do consulting for larger projects or research that you might not have capacity for internally. If you need any help that we might be able to provide, please email matthew@strategymadesimple.ca. If you have any questions or comments about this video or any social enterprise concept, you can tweet at me, @Matthew Rempel. Now go, share your perspective, lean on your strengths, and keep it simple.